Hey, good afternoon, friends. It's Mrs. Worland with the Knox County Public Library and the Tutor Team. So today, second, third grade, we are going to be working on reviewing, asking, and answering questions, but we're also going to work on something called character traits. Do you guys know what character traits are? I'll pause for a moment. If you said character traits are how you would describe a character in a story or a person, you're right. Good job. Now, character traits. They can be good traits. Sometimes they're bad traits to have. So I want you to think about some character traits of two of our characters we're going to hear about in today's story. Mean Jean and Katie. I really hope you like today's book. It's called The Recess Queen. Okay, just take a minute, look at that cover. What do you think a recess queen is? Okay, when I think of a recess queen, I think of the one that's like leading the pack. They're kind of the bossy one on the playground. So let's enjoy today's story, The Recess Queen. Alexis O'Neill wrote our story. Now, if you like this book, remember, you can always request it at our Knox County Public Library. So let's begin. Here we go, the recess queen. Mean Jean was recess queen, and nobody said any different. Nobody swung until Mean Jean swung. Nobody kicked until Mean Jean kicked. Nobody bounced until Mean Jean bounced. Bet you're already probably thinking of some character traits for Mean Jean. If kids ever crossed her, she'd push 'em and smush 'em, lollipaloosh 'em, hammer 'em, slammer 'em, kits and kajammer 'em. Say what? Mean Jean growled. Say who? Mean Jean howled. Say you. Just who do you think you're talking to? Mean Jean always got her way. Until one day. What do you think's going to happen? The ellipsis there. There's more to come. A new kid came to school. Katie Sue. A teeny kid. A tiny kid. A kid you might scare with a jump and a boo. What do you think everybody's thinking right now? What do you think Katie Sue's thinking? What do you think Mean Jean's thinking? Let's see. But when the recess bell went ringety ring, this kid ran zingety zing for the playground gate. Katie Sue swung before Mean Jean swung. Katie Sue kicked before Mean Jean kicked. Katie Sue bounced before Mean Jean bounced. The kid you might scare with a jump and a boo was too new to know about Mean Jean, the recess queen. Well, Mean Jean bullied through the playground crowd. Like always, she pushed kids and smushed kids, lollipalooshed kids, hammered him, slammered him, kits and kajammered him as she charged after that Katie Sue. So if she's charging after Katie Sue, how do you think Mean Jean is walking? That's right, she's walking with a purpose, isn't she? She's walking hard and fast. Say what? She growled. Say who? She howled. Say you. She snarled and grabbed Katie Sue by the collar. Nobody swings until Queen Jean swings. Nobody kicks until Queen Jean kicks. Nobody bounces until Queen Jean bounces. And she figured that would set the record straight. Do you know what that means when somebody says set the record straight? Well, what that means is if you're going to set the record straight, you're going to let people know how it's going to go. Let's see what happens. She figured wrong. Katie Sue talked back. Oh my goodness. Just as sassy as she could be, she said, "How did you get so bossy?" Then that puny thing, that loony thing, grabbed the ball and bounced away. Oh, Katie Sue was one quick kid. She bolted quick as lightning, bouncity bounce, bounce, kickity kick, kick, swingity swing, swing. I think I have a few character trait words to describe Katie right now. Mean Jean thundered close behind, bouncity kickity swingity. The recess queen was not amused. Didn't make her happy at all now, did it? She raced and chased and in your faced that Katie Sue. No one spoke. No one moved. No one breathed. I wonder why everybody's so still and not moving. What would you do if you were seeing this on the playground? Then from her pack pulled Katie Sue a jump rope, clean and bright. "Hey, Jeanie Beanie," sang Katie Sue, "let's try this jump rope out. Here's one thing true until that day. No one dared to ask Mean Jean to play. But that Katie Sue just hopped and jumped and skipped away. I like ice cream, I like tea. I want Jean to jump with me." Do you think Jean's going to jump with her? Jean just gaped and stared, as if too scared to move at all. Wow, that's different. Jean scared? So Katie Sue sang once more, "I like popcorn, I like tea. I want Jean to jump with me." Is she going to do it? Then from the side a kid called out, "Go, Jean, go!" And too surprised to even shout, Jean jumped in with Katie Sue. "I like cookies, I like tea. I want you to jump with me." The rope whizzed and slapped. Faster, faster. The rope spun and flapped. Faster, faster, till it caught in a tangled disaster. But they just giggled and jumped again. Well, now when recess rolls around, that playground's one great place. And the school bells ringety ring, those two girls race singety sing out the classroom door. Jean doesn't push kids and smush kids, lollipaloosh kids, hammer 'em, slammer 'em, kilts and kajammer them, 'cause she's having too much fun, rompity romping with her friends. Bouncity, kickity, swingity, hoppity, skippity, jumpity, ringity, zingity. Yes! The Recess Queen by Alexis O'Neill. So, what you guys think of this book? I really like this book. I like how it ended. I like that someone took a chance to make Jean their friend and feel like part of the group. I'm sure the other kids were pretty scared about ever inviting her. So let's talk about the character traits. So let's start with Mean Jean. So, Mean Jean, how would you describe her? I'll give you guys a minute. I'll turn. There we go. So let's think. How would you describe Mean Jean? What words could we use to tell about her character, good and bad? Well, when I think of Mean Jean, well, it's in her name. She was a little mean. What else? Was she bossy? Yeah, she was a lot bossy. Are there any other character traits that you can think of that would describe Mean Jean? I would say she was pushy. She always wanted her way. She would run kids over just to be the recess queen. So, mean, bossy, pushy. Are there any other character traits that you can think of that you would use to describe Mean Jean? Now, if somebody's sitting next to you, why don't you tell them what you think about Mean Jean? And if you have to put the video on pause, that's perfect. Okay? Would you say, was she friendly, unfriendly? I think she was very unfriendly. Now, let's go over and let's talk about Katie. What words would you use to describe Katie? Now, if you put the video on pause and want to talk to somebody about it, that's perfect. And then we'll come together and we'll see if we can match up some answers. Well, one word that I would use to describe Katie, one of her traits, that girl was brave. I mean, she stood up to Mean Jean. None of the other kids would, but Katie was a brave soul. She decided she'd take that chance. I mean, the book said sassy. Well, let's go back. We'll find that page real quick. I remember hearing that word to describe her. Here we go. She figured wrong. Katie Sue talked back, just as sassy as she could be. She said, "How did you get so bossy?" So we could describe her as sassy. She had to get sassy with Mean Jean. Would you describe her as friendly? I would. I would say Katie was really friendly. And she took a chance on Mean Jean. Now, just because a character starts out showing certain character traits, it doesn't mean that at the end of the story they can exhibit or show other traits. So let's go back to Mean Gene for a minute. When we get to the end of this story, would you still use these traits to describe her? Mean, bossy, pushy, and unfriendly? You wouldn't? I'm so glad, because I think once Katie Sue kept persisting and trying to make Mean Gene join her so they could become friends, I think Jean's character traits changed. You think she changed to friendly? I agree. She was friendly. Oh, she shared? Yes, she did. So I was very happy to see that Mean Gene changed. And I think Katie had a lot to do with that change. What do you think? Well, I am so glad you joined me today for the Recess Queen. Now, you can go on the website at the Knox County Public Library, and then they're going to also share a hyperlink with you so you can always go back and listen to the story again. So, this is Mrs. Worland. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed reading this book with you, and remember, be the kind kid, be the cool kid.